Hello everyone and welcome back. If you're new, my name is Cassie Essery and this is Learn With Us. Today we are working on episode 2 of interview tips and tricks and all of that. Today we are tackling the resume. Yes, I know. Highly debated and actually kind of a stressful thing to put together. So I'm hopefully going to make that easier for you. If that's something you're interested in, then keep on watching. Also, don't forget to subscribe down below so that you don't miss another episode of this series. I am revisiting my commitment to posting every Tuesday. I know things got like a little janky with quarantine and now it's summertime and now I really just don't have an excuse. Every Tuesday, gonna have a new video for you because you're loyal to me, so I wanna be loyal to you back and I wanna help you. So anyways, here goes nothing. Okay. So the first part of your resume needs to have your contact information, everything that they need to know so that they can get a hold of you, because they're gonna want to, so that they can get a hold of you in multiple ways, such as your address if they need to mail something to you, your phone number, and your email address. Another thing that I like to include in my resume is my objective. What am I doing with this? So in that part is where I explain what I'm doing here. Why am I sitting in this chair in front of you? Well, my goal is to get this job and all of that extra good stuff in there. You know, teachers want to change the world, so put it in there. The next part is education. This is where you get to flex your muscles, as people are calling it these days. Flexing, but in a good way. This is your chance to show off and show all of the awesome stuff that you have done. So do it, but don't do too much. We'll get to that later. So include your education as in your bachelor's degree, and if you have a master's or you have credits towards the master's, then put that in there too. After that comes endorsements, and that's where you get to show all of the extra stuff. On top of your education, you have these cool extra fun things that make you even more qualified for this job. So tell them all about it. Whether that's an ESOL endorsement, ACSI, which is for Christian schools, if you have been trained for Envoy or Avid or all of those cool buzzwords or whatever, that's where you're gonna put that information in. So obviously, if you've been to a lot of PDs, you know that there are a lot of things you could put in there, so just pick the ones that you think they're gonna wanna know about most. This is where you get to show off a little bit and stand out and show them that they wanna hire you. So put all that good stuff in there. Okay, the next part is teaching experience. If you're a student teacher, put all of your student teaching information in this spot. I think I went to like, how many schools? 4 or 5 different schools. So I just put my recent ones in there. But this is where you're going to show all of the different schools that you've worked at or volunteered, whatever. Teaching experience goes right in there. Also, if the school that you worked at was a Title I school or extremely impoverished, put that in there because we know they're harder. They're harder to work in. So if you have experience in a school like that, then put it on your resume. Especially if you're moving to a new place where the people interviewing you might not have that information, put it in there. Now, after teaching experience is work experience, just your non-related, working, what you got paid for. Don't put babysitting on there. I just gotta say, daycare is different than babysitting, so that's why I put my daycare stuff on there. That's not what my daycare was called, but that's okay. Put any job working experience that you have on there. Also, make sure that you're putting the dates for all of these things on each experience, working, teaching, everything. Put the dates on when you get your endorsements, everything on there so that they can see how current this all is. It's also important because if you had a job for a really long time, only one job, but it's on there and you worked there for like 4 years, that shows that you are dedicated and you are going to stick with them. And they want to know that, so put the dates on there. And last but not least, your references. Now, when I choose references for the bottom of my resume, they're the same people that I have reference letters from. Now, don't just pick your best friend, pick the best letters, the people who know you the best, and put their names at the bottom of your resume. Just 3, 2 to 3. If they're gonna call those people, which if they want you, they're going to call those people just to check up. You want to make sure that they're going to be saying the best things about you. So put the people in there that you know are going to represent you well, but also speak about your professional experiences. Okay, the second part of Resumes 101 is the do's and don'ts. These could be opinions, they're just things that I think are important or not important, so take them with a grain of salt. I do think that they are very helpful though, so I would not be sharing them with you if I didn't think they were. So there's that. Okay, here we go. Do use your resume to show off. Sometimes it's really hard to speak highly of yourself, and so this is what's cool about resumes. You get to show off and it doesn't feel super uncomfortable. So use this chance to show off. Don't go over one page. It needs to be one page, that's it. Ha! When I was applying for jobs right after high school, my resume was 3 pages long. That was so bad. They should be able to see how awesome you are with 1 page. You can fit a lot of information on there, people. Also, little bonus there, I really don't think you should include a picture on that 1 page, especially because you only have this much space to show off. You don't want any reason for them to be discriminatory towards you or favorited because you're cute. Let your resume speak for itself, not your picture. Okay, back to do's. Do make it easy to read, easy and clear. You do not want a bunch of stuff all over the place, okay? Make it super easy for them to navigate and see exactly where your stuff is. One way that I did this is to include these lines that separate each section on my resume and putting bold and all of that stuff, which I'll get to in a sec. But you just want it to be clear, not muddled, not all squished together because you're trying to save space so that you can show off a bunch. Although that is important, you want it to be clear and concise. So make sure that it's easy for them to navigate. All right, don't go crazy with your fonts. I've seen a lot of templates out there, and sure, they look real pretty, but like really, people, cursive? You know how many people can't read cursive? I know that seems crazy, but why would you make it harder on them? Just saying, just pick something that is clean and simple and easy to read. All right, do bold important titles and dates. I know I talked about this a little bit earlier about bolding the dates. You just want it to be clear for them. Just bold the things that during your interview when they're looking at it, it's going to stand out. And if you want them to ask you a question about that, then maybe you should put it in bold. And don't. Kind of already talked about this, but don't put down references for people that you don't have letters from. There's a reason that you bring letters with you so that they have them right then. They don't have to track down your references even though you're giving them the contact information. You want to make this as easy as possible for them. So just give them the same people. Makes it really easy. Now I know sometimes for applications they want more than that, but just for your interview, bring just a couple. Make sure at the bottom of your resume, the names and everything match the reference letters that you are giving them in person. I think that's important because then they have the information right there, and if they have a question about something that that person wrote about you, then they can just call them right then. They don't have to track down whoever this random person is that you have a letter for. Just make it easy on them. I really think the easier that you make it on them, the easier it's going to be for them to hire you. And that's what we want, right? Ooh, that reminds me. A lot of people put on their resumes their skills. I don't, and I'm gonna tell you why. The reason that I didn't have skills on my resume is because those skills that I have, I think are kind of implied. And maybe that's me not being direct, but if you get an interview, then you get to explain what your skills are. They'll ask you, what did you do at this job? And you can tell them all of your awesome skills. I mean, obviously you are skilled enough to get a degree, get a teaching license, and get to the interview. So I think it's implied that you have skills. I don't think you need to list them on your resume. Okay, I think that's it. I think that's it for resumes today. Remember, one page, Keep it clear and concise, and don't go crazy with your fonts, people. Don't do it. If you think that I missed some things or you really resonated with some things, whatever, please comment down below. I would love to hear from you. And resumes are always evolving. Maybe you're a principal or someone who does interviews and you're saying, Cassie, you missed a few things. Things are always changing. So if there are some things that are more important than others or yada yada, please let me know down below. Okay, so that's it. Thank you again so much for watching and hanging out with me today. Make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss another episode, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!